Imagine a world where women aren't allowed to vote, or have custody of their children in divorces, or even be in control of their own finances and birth control. This is the world that Elizabeth Cady Stanton grew up in. Throughout her life, she listened to her father's legal meetings, and throughout that time learned about many laws that held women back, and she decided she needed to do something about it. She always grew up knowing that her father didn't even want to have her. He wanted a son. And she learned about all the laws that held women captive through him. So she fought for them to get rights. She protested through writing speeches, writing to newspapers, and even writing books for women to find their own power within themselves. She broke down many barriers set before her, and with her strong beliefs made major change to go towards equal rights for women. Elizabeth Cady Stanton pushed against many stereotypes in her life, including the one that said that women shouldn't be educated. She got an excellent education at home, according to Britannica Schools, who are affiliated with Brentwood American Education Association. Because of her father's unhidden want for a son, she decided to gain intellectual power throughout her entire life, according to Biography.com editors, who are affiliated with A&E Network, dedicated to spreading history since 1984. She got her informal legal education from her father through conversations that she had with him and through conversations that she overheard, according to Dr. Deborah Michaels, who is an independent scholar, activist, public speaker, and women's historian. She always fought against discrimination laws and thought that it was crazy that they could force women under all of these laws, and so she decided to win equal rights. She started the thought that women should have equal rights through the World's Anti-Slavery Convention when she went with her husband, Henry Brewster. During this time, she was outraged at the denial of official recognition of women delegates. She was so outraged at the fact that women didn't get recognition in any part of her life that she even insisted that obey be removed from the wedding vows so that she wouldn't have to obey her husband. She circulated many petitions that fought to secure a bill in the New York legislature in 1848 to give women property rights. She organized the Women's Rights Convention in 1848 and co-authored the Declaration of Sentiments that was released by the convention that demanded for women to have the rights to vote. Although her personality and wealthy family was a good part of why she was able to open all those doors for herself, her father was still embarrassed and ashamed of her, according to Women's Rights National Historical Park, which is in charge of many museums around the country and has been since 1916. She introduced a resolution that many people agreed with, and after a short debate, was adopted by many laws. She stayed active in her career for 50 years, running campaigns and writing addresses for herself and Susan B. Anthony to perform at the legislative body and at many other gatherings around the world. She changed the world in many ways while still raising 7 children of her own, according to Women on 20s dedicated their careers to getting female representation on the U.S. currency and women's rights in general. She fought for equal rights for women through being president of the National Women's Suffrage Association from 1869 to 1890, and then being the president of the National American Women's Suffrage Association for 2 more years. Then, in the 1880s, she started focusing more on writing and less on traveling and lectures. During this time, she argued that the Bible and many other religious organizations played a part in denying women full rights. Therefore, her and her daughter published 2 volumes called the Woman's Bible that would teach women that they also could own their religion. She unfortunately died in 1902 before getting the ability to have the right to vote. That was 18 years later that became legal. Elizabeth Cady Stanton pushed through many barriers that were miles thick. She petitioned legislatures on all different spectrums and had the will to fight. She never lived to see the final effects of her fight, but she was an honored feminist that many people follow today. As a young woman in a very conservative high school, she inspires me. She taught me that it's okay to yell and shout when necessary and push through barriers that might hold you back. More so than many other women in that movement, she was able and willing to speak out on a wide spectrum of issues, from the primacy of legislatures over the courts and Constitution to women's right to ride bicycles. and she deserves to be recognized as one of the more remarkable individuals